1998 through 2005 Mazda Miata clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder replacement. I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you through the steps replacing those. So this is the master cylinder and slave cylinder part numbers that we'll be using in this video. I will link these up in the description. That way if you guys need to pick those up, you can get those. I'm going to get started by sucking out as much fluid out of the master cylinder as I can. A turkey baster works great for this. So I'm going to use my rack to lift the vehicle up. If you're doing this at home, you can use floor jacks and jack stands and lift it up as high as you can. Looking on the right side of the transmission, you'll see this slave cylinder here. And what we're going to do is on the side of the suspension, there's a hole. You're going to look through here, and now you can get access to the line and use that 10mm line wrench to remove the line. Then there's going to be a 10mm bolt here that's holding the line down. You'll remove that. Then on the bottom of the slave cylinder, there's going to be two 10mm bolts that we're going to remove. You're going to use a extension and a ratchet like this and come from the side and remove the two bolts. Now after unboxing the slave cylinder, we need to prep it by putting this little rod in the boot like this and pushing it all the way in until the boot seats around the end like this. Once you get this done, you're going to remove the rubber cap from the end of the bleeder screw. Now we're going to look through the hole, and then from underneath we're going to reach under and install the new slave cylinder, and you're going to take the end of it and stick it into the fork of the clutch. So you'll line the fork up like this with the end of the slave cylinder, and then what we're going to do is you're going to have to push the slave cylinder in or out or up or down to line up the bolt holes and start the two mounting bolts and tighten them down. Now you can go ahead and install the line and thread it in by hand, and then you can go ahead and use the line wrench and tighten it up until it's snug. You don't want to over tighten it. After that, you can reinstall the little bracket that holds the line down and the 10mm bolt, and then lower the vehicle back down to the ground. Next, we're going to use a 10mm line wrench, crack the line free right here, and then once you get the line, disconnect it. The next step is going to remove the two 12mm nuts that hold the master cylinder on. So they're going to remove this one here and here. Once you get those removed, you'll just pull the master cylinder straight out. Before we reinstall the master cylinder back into the car, we need to bench bleed it. So I filled it up with .3 brake fluid and put the cap back on. Now I'm going to take a Phillips screwdriver and put it in the end of the master cylinder like this, and we're going to press the bore in and then hold our thumb over the line port and bleed the system out. And I'll demonstrate how I do that. So what I do is I take the screwdriver, put it in the port, put it against my body, my abdomen, and then put my thumb over the hole like this, and I pull the master cylinder in towards me, and then release my thumb, and then put my thumb back on and let the master cylinder release back out. And I'll repeat this pattern several times until I get a good flow of brake fluid coming out of the port. Now you can install the master cylinder back over the studs like this, re-secure the two mounting nuts and tighten them up. And then we're ready to install the line and tighten it up with a line wrench. So with the help of a helper, I'm going to have them get in the car and pump the clutch pedal in and out while I lift the vehicle up and go from underneath and open the bleeder screw to the slave cylinder. As they pump and release the brake pedal, I'll open and close the bleeder screw, and I'll demonstrate that for you right now. I'm going to demonstrate with the old part on how we're going to do this. So we're going to have the assistant pump the pedal like 3 times, open the bleeder screw, and then close the bleeder screw, and then have them pump like 3 more times, open the bleeder screw, close the bleeder screw, and keep repeating this pattern until you get all the air out. I get a good flow of brake fluid coming out of the port, then I'll close the bleeder screw and tighten it back up. Okay, pump it like 3 times and hold it down. Okay, like 3 times and hold it. Once you get all the air bled out of the system, then you're going to lower the vehicle back down and double check the fluid level. Last step of the job is to adjust the rod going to the pedal to this master cylinder. It may have free play, and we need to adjust that free play out. So if you look up here, this rod right here is adjustable. So what you'll do is use a wrench and you'll crack the jam nut free, and then you'll twist the rod in or out depending on if your pedal needs to be adjusted. If there's free play like this, then you'll need to adjust it. So this plate, we're going to adjust this by loosening this jam nut here, and then we're going to put a wrench on the rod here a little further in. And in this case, we're going to turn it counterclockwise, and that's going to make the rod longer and tighten the free play out of it. If it's too tight, then what you'll do is you'll rotate the rod clockwise, and that'll put more slack in the pedal. And you just check it by feel, and you'll just wiggle the pedal and check for free play. And that'll complete the job of replacing a clutch, master, and slave cylinder on a 1998 through 2005 Mazda Miata. I'm Brian Essa from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos, encourage you to subscribe, invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website, and also to remind you that I will be linking up all the parts, and I will link up related videos in the description. That way, if you're interested in watching those, you can check those out there. Thank you again for watching.